Video games was pretty much my entire childhood. I'm a 90s kid and I lived in the golden age of console wars, an epic battle between Nintendo and Sega for market dominance. It's a time where online gaming was pretty much non-existent, and even searching for gaming info was entirely word of mouth, which is one reason why I have so many fond memories. So you can imagine how excited I was when we discovered the National Videogame Museum in Frisco, Texas.
Hey guys, we're here in Frisco, Texas! This is the Frisco Discovery Center. They got the National Videogame Museum, the Black Box Theater, Art Gallery, Traintopia, and the Science Discovery Center. But today we're only gonna have time for the National Videogame Museum. So let's go and see what it's all about.
The public space of this multi-purpose building was littered with local art. But of course, it's not the art that we were after, but this hidden gem. In 1999, John Hardie, Sean Kelly, and Joe Santulli had a traveling video game museum dedicated to honoring the people, systems, and games of the past. In 2011, they turned to crowdfunding in their mission to secure a permanent home for their cherished exhibit. Then, in 2016, their dream transformed into reality as the National Videogame Museum. The museum opens most of the week except for Mondays. In the main lobby, they had a huge display that played retro commercials and gameplay footage. The entire museum spans over 10,000 square feet, which I'll admit it's not very large.
What? That game's from Ohio.
Adult admission is $12, and children between 3 and 10 are $10.
Alright, so with the price of admission, you get tokens to play the arcade in the museum. And make sure you get these wristbands, you put them on and don't take them off. This is for all day admission.
Make sure you leave your burgers and tasty beverages outside. And I believe that's Mr. John Hardie giving us the first class treatment.
So right above here they have these signs that tells you how to, or what order to go in. So that's stage 1, and over there, that's stage 2.
I just love how they named their exhibit after stages, a callback to classic video games. At stage 1, you have the beginnings of the early home consoles, which, can you believe it, goes back to over half a century. You would have been in gaming heaven if all you wanted to play was this. I guess you really didn't have many options back in those days. Maybe that's why kids played outside more.
This is the very first game system in 1972. It's called the Magnavox Odyssey. Check out this, Dr. Pong. It looks like a home version of it. And look at this giant game of Pong. Okay, let me play with you. So you start over like this. 0-0. Let's do it. Oh, there you go. Ah, yes, 1-0.
At stage 2, learn about every console ever made using a giant SNES controller to guide your path. And something that the general public doesn't see very often, classic console development kits.
I believe this is the Xbox development kit right here. So if you wanted to develop for the Xbox, that's what it looked like. This was the Dreamcast development system.
The great part about this museum is that they have these stations where you can just stop and play a video game from the past.
This is for Mario PC games. And I remember that Mario teaches typing.
What? They have Bible adventures? I've only seen this game once at a Christian winter camp in 3rd grade. Oh, and my favorite typing teacher, Typing of the Dead. It's the reason I average 80 words per minute. Are those plungers? Controllers have really evolved over the years.
The Power Glove, guys.
Originally released in 1989, this pioneering device was developed by AGE and manufactured by Mattel. It marked a groundbreaking advancement as the first virtual reality accessory designed for the NES. The Power Glove utilized ultrasonic sound technology to detect motion, providing an immersive gaming experience. It was inspired by the high-end $9,000 VPL data glove, but was re-engineered with more affordable materials, making it accessible to the average consumer. In addition to its motion sensing capabilities, the Power Glove featured a standard NES controller and several programmable buttons. Upon its initial launch, the glove achieved massive success, often fetching prices higher than its retail value. It even had a notable appearance in the cult classic gaming movie The Wizard.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Regrettably, only 2 games were ever released specifically for the Power Glove, and its compatibility with other titles was limited. Over time, the Power Glove was eventually discontinued, but it continues to hold a special place in gaming history.
They got a scavenger hunt right here. All you need to do is sign your initials right there, and then you can start. Let's see.
I couldn't get past the initial login screen since someone already took my initials.
Boo! Stage 5 is portable game systems. Oh, what is that? Oh, that was like a football game? Oh, Mattel created this. This is Pac-Man back in the day. You play with this. These are the controls.
The collection of handhelds was really impressive.
There's so many video game gems in this place. Oh, they got Burger Time. Then the Game Boy Advanced. So the Game Boy Advance had a card reader. You can actually buy cards for it. Right here. Game & Watch, I've heard about these. These were pre-Game Boy. I think this might have been the NES era. Yeah, it was 1980 to 1986. So this exhibit is about the dark days of gaming, when they had the video game crash in the 80s. So this is a photo op space. You can pretend like you're a worker in one of these closed up video game stores.
This exhibit focuses on the gaming industry crash of 1983. The video game crash of 1983 represented a substantial downturn in the gaming sector. At its zenith, the industry boasted approximately $3.2 billion in revenue, but by the close of 1985, it had plummeted to a mere $100 million. Several factors contributed to this crash, including an oversaturation of gaming consoles, the release of subpar quality games, and the emergence of personal computers as a viable gaming platform. 2 titles are frequently pinpointed as major contributors to the industry's downfall: Pac-Man and E.T., both of which were released for the Atari 2600. Pac-Man in arcades looked like this, but Atari's version was, well, you be the judge. Essentially, Atari rushed an incomplete prototype to market, resulting in over 5 million unsold copies. Then there's the infamous disaster known as E.T., which legend has it ended up buried in a New Mexico landfill, never to be seen from again. This crash ultimately gave rise to home computer gaming.
This is something you don't see very often, a Sega keyboard. You can actually try out some of these home computer gaming systems. This is the famous Apple computer, or Apple II computer from 1983. A lot of games came out of this system.
And look, I found ChatGPT's great-grandfather. Punchball? I've never seen these games before.
IBM PC right here, guys, with the official floppy disks.
And of course, it's Dragon Slayer. I remember being so impressed by the animation. Most games in those days looked like this.
Oh, come on!
I still have no idea how they produced such clean graphics with 1983 technology, really advanced. Next to Dragon's Lair, there was a conference room with Super Smash Bros. Set up. I think this is where they host birthday parties and events. We weren't in there very long. The controls they set up wasn't very responsive.
It's quite a collection. That one is a Mario pin, old school Mario pin. Hey, Captain Planet. So the whole section here is about games that allow you to play or create other games. Like Minecraft, Doom allowed you to create Doom levels, pixel art, Mega Man, Final Fantasy, Mario. So check out this custom Doom level. This Doom level is basically the museum. This is the first time seeing Minecraft on the Wii U, but I get it. It makes sense. And here's the Native American section, representation in video games. And this game here, my friend used to have this on his N64. Remember coming home and playing this. In the worst video game movie in history, the Super Mario Brothers from the 90s. Then you got the boot from the movie. Look, virtual reality, guys. Oh man, was this the Virtual Boy? I remember this thing gave me headaches. It gave me tons of cluster headache. And that's Battle Zone. Yeah. Hey guys, we reached the checkpoint. Dang. Look at all this game memorabilia. Hey, did you guys know there was a Super Mario cereal? Nintendo cereal? I've never seen this before. And then look at this Hello Kitty Dreamcast. I bet you've never seen that one. So there was an adapter for the Game Boy to a sewing machine. So you can actually embroider something from your Game Boy.
And one of the best sections in the museum is the rows of playable consoles.
And here's Nolan playing his favorite game, Mario Kart. But the first one on N64. FYI, some of the controllers are not very responsive. Guys, I haven't touched a Sega Master System controller since I was 8 years old. And here I am, just playing Double Dragon. They even got a Zelda board game in here.
How the heck did they turn Street Fighter into a board game?
And this is probably a super rare game here. The Blockbuster World Championships 2 cartridge.
And here, the girls are playing Duck Hunt in a 1980s bedroom. Man, living rooms in the 80s had so much wood.
And now I go back to the past to play in Intellivision. Back in the 80s, guys, where everything was made out of wood. That's awesome, this thing works. And the final stage is the bonus stage. Castlevania action going on here. Some Halo. Over here we got Nolan playing one of my favorite games growing up, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's now time to go back to the arcade days and give my daughter some coins.
The final exhibit is a fully functional retro arcade.
They got all the classics here. They got Donkey Kong. They got Space Invaders. There's a Super Breakout here. I'm probably gonna have to play that one. Oh, I remember these. The Neo Geo console. Man. And here's some Pac-Man pinball. Wow, these are some classic games. And Rampage. You know what? I'm gonna play some Breakout. Oh, this one's free. I guess some of them are free.
As a kid, I was the ultimate video game spectator, and I remember just watching people playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter for hours.
And once you're done with the arcade, just go in through the gift shop.
Cool, a Blockbuster towel. Well, overall, the National Video Game Museum was probably the most interactive museum I've been to in a long time. And as you can see, there's definitely a reason to keep coming back. Taking it all in, I can't believe how much of my childhood was influenced by video games. I think of all the developers and artists who poured their lives into creating the best experience with the technology that they had. Today, gaming is as common as dirt, and maybe that's not a good thing. But thanks to museums like this, we can observe and appreciate the history and legacy of this form of media. As an adult, I rarely have time to play, but every now and then I like to fire up an emulator and for a moment, just relive my past. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, here's some more suggestions. On this channel, I produce entertaining educational travel content, and if that's your thing, please consider subscribing. And with that, I'll see you on the next Pixix adventure.